terms, conditions of customer mortgage and other borrowings will not change as a result of the appointment of special liquidator. There's great distress, as you know, among mortgage holders. Just one of them contacted me last night and said, and I quote, "I'm very worried and concerned of who might purchase a loan book and as to the possibilities of losing protection the central bank has offered to all mortgage holders in Ireland. I'm concerned that whoever might purchase them will have carte blanche to increase interest rates and already struggling. We're already struggling to meet our monthly repayments and stay in our homes. I also find it quite disingenuous that the Minister for Finance and IBRC can offer huge financial discounts to multimillionaires to purchase a commercial loan book, but that the tax-paying working class must just shut up and carry on with their contractual obligation to IRBC until it's sold to some vulture fund." So, Minister, I'll just ask you to repeat what you said.
It's important to highlight that the contractual terms and conditions of all customer mortgages and other borrowings have not changed as a result of the appointment of the special liquidator, nor will those terms and conditions change as a result of the ultimate sale of these obligations to a third party. Purchasers of mortgage loans will be required to honour the legal terms of the loan agreements. Nonetheless, I am fully aware of the concerns raised by the IBRC mortgage holders regarding continued protection under the Central Bank's Code of Conduct on Mortgage Arrears. For those mortgage holders following the sale of the loan book by the special liquidators, the special liquidators have, following due consideration, decided that the sale of the residential mortgage book in portfolios was the best method available to maximise market interest and return within the timelines set out in the ministerial instructions. It was not possible for me to interfere in the sale process developed by the special liquidators to compel them to sell the residential mortgage portfolios in regulated entities, as to do so would have had a negative impact on the return available by the special liquidators. Such action would have left me open to challenge by other creditors of the bank. I am keenly aware that the potential loss of protection under CCMA is a source of great concern to the mortgage holders of the bank. The continued applicability of CCMA depends on the regulatory status of the ultimate acquirer of the IBRC portfolio, which will not be known with certainty until that process is completed next month. However, I have instructed my officials to examine the issue fully in consultation with the Central Bank, with a view to bringing forward a solution if required. While work is ongoing in that respect, I also am pleased to note that some unregulated firms have already indicated that they intend to voluntarily adopt the CCMA in order to manage acquired loans, as they believe that following CCMA is in the ultimate best interest for both the businesses and their customers. I fully accept that this will also be the case in the event that IBRC portfolio was required by such organisations. It is also important to note that in the event that NAMA acquire the IBRC residential mortgage book, they will be mindful of their legal obligations and are likely to apply best practice in relation to CCMA. Furthermore, they have confirmed that no borrower will be in any worse position.
Deputy Broughan.
Thanks, Laskin Corla. Well, Minister, I think over recent decades we've seen a number of very serious scandals. I think I remember myself on this side of the House talking about the endowment mortgage scandal and the fact that absolutely nothing was done about it at that time. Why won't you move fast? You were prepared to move a year ago in the middle of the night on an important matter. What about the sale of loan books to unregulated third parties bill on the C list? Why not just come in this evening and pass that bill rather than wait until 2015, which will be too late and when the government will probably be over? Or why won't you just simply accept Deputy McGrath's bill, the spirit of Deputy McGrath's bill, and put it on the statute book as quick as possible? I'd also commend, of course, Deputy Matthews, Deputy Donnelly for the suggestions they have made in relation to publication of the PwC advice. The last comment you made there may offer a tiny glimmer of hope to mortgage holders, but people do feel, Minister, that you're simply standing idly by and allowing them to be thrown to the vultures, and that's the net impact of what you're doing to the Irish nationwide homeowners and mortgage holders. So will you reconsider, Minister, get the legislation through, put it on the statute books? I know the Apollo deal and other deals, you had voluntary compliance. You can't trust vultures to behave in any kind of a voluntary or community-oriented manner. So it's up to you, Minister. You're Minister.
Yeah, but I just think that, hyping the situation and using extreme emotional language is not helping the mortgage holders. It's only, because they're being well hyped up by people whose interests are not in their interests. Not in their interest. It's unfair to the mortgage holders to be raising unreal fares.
Sorry, Deputy.
Unreal fares.
Please, Minister has the floor now.
It's unfair to the mortgage holders to be raising unreal fares, and we shouldn't do it. And you know, people have different objectives. And I'm prepared to back the mortgage holders and work towards a solution. I said it was complicated, and I said my officials are in talks with the Central Bank and the Attorney General's office to come up with the best possible solution. The liquidator has to get the best return possible for the creditors of IBRC. That's the legal position. If I go into the middle of the sale now and attach additional conditions to the loan book, that potentially diminishes the value of the loan books. And I let ourselves open then to be sued in the courts.
Thank you, Minister.
And the way to do it is, let's see who buys them. If NAMA buys them, and they're more likely to buy performing mortgages than unperforming mortgages, well then, there's no problem with that set of mortgages. If it's an unregulated outsider buys them, we'll see what the position is, and we'll have the liquidator asking very quickly, reinforced by myself, will they do what other private sector mortgage purchasers did in the past and apply the full code voluntarily? And we'll be looking for a commitment to do that. And then if that doesn't happen, well, there's work being done, and Deputy McGrath's proposed solution will come into play.
Thank you, Deputy Broughan.
Yeah, well, Minister, I wanted to convey to you, as I think earlier deputies wanted to do, the distress that people are feeling, the uncertainty that they're feeling on their family home, and I think you have a key core responsibility, and it's okay to say, okay, the AMA solution, the voluntarily compliance with the CCMA and so on, but people really need some decisive action at this particular point. So I'd urge you again to look at what legislative measures, statutory measures can be brought forward to ease people's concerns, and to look, I mean, in general terms, I would accept that this group of mortgage holders, everybody in the last 10 or 15 years who is affected by the gangsterism of the Celtic Tiger era, you know, is struggling with huge inflated mortgages with negative equity, etc. But this particular group we're talking about right now, and you do have a clear moral obligation to address this matter in a way that's in the interests of, and I'm talking about young couples and families.
Thank you, Deputy. Final reply, Ministers.
Yeah, I mean, I accept what you say, and we're certainly working on solutions, and we're watching it every step of the way. But there's a process of sale going on which will be completed in the middle of March, and then we'll see who purchases the book, and then, if necessary, we can act on it. But we're not standing idly by. We're working in parallel. But for legal reasons, I'm not going to intervene. If I have to intervene, it'll be after the sale, not before the sale.